Hello and welcome to Weekend Investing Daily Bites. We are going to talk about inflation today and how it impacts our investing, how inflation can be a secret tax. Talk about all that. But let's first take a look at the markets. So the markets seem to have gone into some sort of a holiday mode uh, with the movements being very restricted to short ranges and money sort of moving towards pharma with the cases going up, some risk on sectors like metals, PSU banks, public sector enterprises uh, giving up some gains, but IT, real estate, and surprisingly autos also. There is some news about autos ramping up production for a good quarter ahead. That seemed to have given the fillip to auto sector today. But pharma's mainly on the back of fear of Omicron spreading in the coming days and weeks. So overall, not much of a movement in the market today. Nifty closed virtually flat at minus 0.1%. CNX 200, CNX 500 were all flat. Small caps and mid caps still had some little bit of a cheer, going up 0.3% on mid and small cap index and 0.7% on the small cap 250 index. In terms of the weekend investing, small cases again flat to slightly positive in most of them, and ATH and NNF10 lost some ground, but really not much to report in terms of the daily movements. Coming to the topic of the day, secret tax called inflation. So a lot of people, and let me just give a disclaimer that I am no economist. I don't have very deep knowledge about these subjects. What I'm sharing with you is my perception about it. Could be right, could be wrong. So take it with a huge chunk of salt. So secret tax, I'm calling it because usually we don't see it as a tax. We only visualize tax as whatever direct taxes we pay or indirect taxes we pay, and we never sit back and think about what is this secret taxation that is constantly happening. So in high inflation environments like we seem to be in now, and getting worse globally, uh, you need not do anything and still you're getting taxed. Your purchasing power of your money is going down every day. So whether you invest or save or just keep it in cash, you are in some sense losing ground every day. And in that sense, it is called the secret tax, that without you knowing, uh, without you perceiving it to be so, you are getting taxed. And this is the classical sort of strategy which every central banker has been using for the past century. Uh, that whenever there is high inflation environment, the uh, the idea of the government as well as the central banker is to allow that inflation to happen. A lot of countries are allowing high inflation to happen because their debt to GDP has gone way beyond their normalized levels, and they want their currencies to be debased so that the interest that they have to pay in terms of the money that has to be paid over next 10 15 years is will become lesser worth than it is today. So I'll show you in some of these slides what I'm talking about. So a lot of data today I'm using from Charlie Belillo account. Thanks to him so for getting together such fantastic data points. uh, so as you can see, over the last 1 year, several of these commodities, coffee, gasoline, heating oil, crude, cotton, or aluminium, corn, wheat, and even other regular day-to-day items that we can track, have been going up. Fertilizers actually are going up very recently, and urea cost is going up, and that has to percolate to food prices as well. Fortunately, in India, it has not so far of any major significance, but it will, and this is happening globally. So inflation and high inflation is here. There is no doubt about it, and it's a global scenario that is happening. Now, this is the sort of Fed's response to it. So after the shock of the pandemic, to stimulate the economy, the central bankers are pumping in more and more money into the system. So you can see that the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, which was around 3.5-4 trillion, within a year and a half has moved to 8.7 trillion. So the base of the money itself has more than doubled. Just sit back and think about it, that if your money was worth, was purchasing power of it could buy, X units of some item, actually now it should be able to buy only X by 2 or something like that, if it was the ideal world. So the amount of money printing that is happening to keep the economy stimulated is huge, and what this is doing is increasing demand, because now people have cheap access to money. You can borrow at low interest rates, and so the demand is getting artificially stimulated, whereas the supply side does not have that kind of capacity, or has more supply chain bottlenecks in place, and hence there is a very major mismatch in the demand and supply, and the inflation is skyrocketing because of that. What is the typical central banker response to high inflation? Increase the interest rates. But the catch 22 is that if you increase interest rates, and that too, in a sharp fashion, it will have impact on the stock markets. It will have impact on the interest payments that the government itself has to make on the huge debts that they've taken. So the entire pack of cards can come crashing down. So in order to avoid that, now the interest rates probably cannot rise too much, and at the same hand, this asset purchase cannot stop, because this is what is stimulating the economy. So the central bankers are caught in a bind, and in a bind of the order of magnitude that there is no example in history of that. We are in such dire straits when it comes to the global monetary policy. Here you can see the kind of debt levels that have been building, the global debt levels as a percentage of GDP, and although it was already high in the mid 90s and 2000, but it is just skyrocketing, 256% as of last year, and even higher. So public debt is growing much faster than private debt. You can see here that the curve here on this mustard line is going parabolic, so as to say. So the government needs to keep giving stimulus, needs to keep giving subsidies, but where do they get the money from? So they keep debasing the money, and that is causing inflation to go rampantly higher. This is the US inflation rates, were from virtually near zero early in 2020 to 6.5, near 7 now, and the US has not seen these kind of rates since a long time. France inflation rates are going up, UK inflation rates are going up, Australia spiked up, and this is another chart from Charlie Belelo's Twitter account. These are interest rates across the world, and he has tabulated for each central bank what is the nominal interest rate, what is the inflation in that country, and what is the real interest rate. So you can see here that even US, which has a bank rate at plus 0.13% with inflation of 6.8, effective bank rate effective real interest rate is minus 6.7%. So you put your money in the bank or hold cash, you lose 6.7% per year just by it sitting there. And just see the host of countries, out of these 20-25 countries, just 3 places are there which have real interest rates which are where are positive. So Indonesia, China, and Russia barely at 0.1 are the positive interest rates. Rest every other country has negative real rates. So in India we are at minus 0.9. So if and the inflation at 4.9%, I actually don't believe it. But if you were to believe it, then with repo rate at 4%, you are at minus 0.9 real interest rate. So you put your money in the bank, and likely you are losing money every year. So what this is doing is, it is forcing people to take risk to generate yield, because if you will not do that, you are losing money every year. So while one may not want to take risk, but one is having to take risk, to stay above water, so as to say, and not go below from wherever you've reached, and to retain your purchasing power. So really a lot of mess in the world in terms of the monetary system. And you can see here in this column that a lot of central bankers have started to hike interest rates. So this stats, if you had seen 3-4 months back, this was mostly green. Central bankers had not started to hike, but now a lot of countries have hiked. Even Brazil has hiked, Russia has hiked tremendously. Sweden is hiking, Norway is hiking. So because that is a classical response to inflation, central bankers increasing interest rates, and India may at some point in 2022 also want to hike rates to curb inflation if it goes out of control. So far it is within control, but just imagine a country like US sitting at minus 6.7% real rates. So it's a real catch 22. It's a major bind, and nobody really knows how this will resolve itself. The classical response of the central banker would be to let inflation run hard, so that the purchasing power of the currency keeps coming down, even at the cost of increasing the monetary base and having some inflation. But inflation, as we all know, is a very delicate balance. So some inflation is very good, because it increases productivity, it encourages people to spend. As soon as that balance goes a little bit either way, it is very, very detrimental. So if it goes into negative and causes deflation, demand collapses, and if it goes into hyperinflation, then everything goes for a huge run, and it destroys what we are seeing that has happened in Turkey, for instance, recently, that instead of hiking rates, the regime actually lowered rates, stating that they want to encourage the business, etc. But the inflation rocketed off, and you can see here that inflation here is 21.3% right now, and real interest rate is minus 7.3%, and the currency is doing all kinds of drama in that country. So we are sitting on very, very vulnerable positions. Now, what to do in such a environment? If your interest from the bank is 5%, average inflation, let's say, increases to 8%, you actually will be losing minus 2.78% per year. And losing your hard-earned money is not something very palatable, and hence a gradual risk-taking will have to be done. Whichever asset you feel confident about, whichever strategy you feel confident about, you will need to take risk, because the system is designed in such a way that if you will not do that, you are losing anyways. So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever is your appetite to take risk on that much capital, or even more if you have the appetite. but you need to take risk, and that is, you know, by not by choice but by design, that you will have to do. So as I said, you know, objective should be to achieve a better inflation adjusted return. This inflation tax is not going away, the secret tax will continue to bite, and the only way is to find instruments, find asset classes, find investing which can at least beat inflation over a longer period of time. And equities has been one such class which has done that with great flair. So just in the end, I want to show you that, you know, this is a sort of 100-year chart of the Dow Jones, and more than that, actually 120-year chart. And you can see that whatever has been thrown at the market, you know, whether it was deflation, whether it was war, whether it was hyperinflation at times in the 70s, whether it was the Great Depression, whether it was financial crisis, it has overcome all of that in due course of time. Yes, it took a long periods of recovery at times, and we don't know how the next 5 years or 10 years may pave out, but this is the only real way to sort of, you know, beat inflation in a big way. The other, of course, asset classes, real estate, gold, and all and the new cryptos, which I am not very confident about. But the point being that you need to invest your money into asset classes that can beat inflation, and equities is definitely one such asset class. Uh, at the end of this, I also want to remind you that we are currently in the launch phase of our new product MI Evergreen, which is strongest 20 stocks from CNX 200 universe, along with the protection of gold. So this opening strategy opening is on right now for next few days. There is a introductory offer of a 20% off on our strategies. So use the code HNY2020, and you can go to weekendinvesting.smallcase.com and subscribe it if you like. This is one very small way in which hopefully you can beat the inflation, hopefully you can beat the underlying index, and not get subject to this secretive tax. These are the returns that the strategy has seen in the last about 6 odd years, and we are very, very hopeful that the strategy can continue to beat the index and the inflation in question. So thank you so much for watching. It's been slightly long video, but I hope some new learnings would have come your way through this. Thank you. Bye.